Hi, I'm Mark Reed. Follow me as I attempt to put my new book, Impact Culture, into practice and discuss it with others taking a similar journey. You'll get tips that will help you achieve more impact from your research and stay healthy, no matter how busy you are. Rediscover your purpose. Lead from behind to empower those around you. Transform your work culture. Welcome to Season 4 of the Fast Track Impact Podcast. So today is a momentous day. I am sitting here in possession of an actual real hard copy of my next book, Impact Culture. You can maybe hear me flicking through the pages of this, and the waft of the smell of a new book is coming to my nose as we speak. I don't know if you do that when you buy new books. But I am breathing deeply of the fact that this is now ready to give to all of you. So in this episode, I'm just going to take a wee break from what I was doing. Next week, I'll move to the second chapter that I'm going to preview with you and let you hear that. But I wanted to let you know what is happening and how, crucially, you can join my launch team. And that means that you get a pre-publication copy of this. It's the only way you can get a signed copy. It's also the only way you can get this with free postage and packaging anywhere in the world. But I am expecting some things from you in return for joining my launch team. So I'll explain all about this in a moment. But first, I wanted to say a little bit about the book itself. So, as I said, this is a momentous moment for me, as it is for any author when you hold your book in your hand. But for me, this feels more significant than usual. This feels like the most important academic contribution that I've made so far in my career. I don't know if you feel like this sometimes. You publish that paper, that book, and you feel like, yeah, you know what? If I were to retire now, I'd be happy. I've done something that is worth it, that I am genuinely proud of. And my hope is that as you read this book, that you will see the original thinking and understand the importance of this for how we think about impact, as well as how we do impact. And of course, for me, as someone who is motivated by impact, part of why this is such an important contribution is because I believe this is what the world needs really badly right now. Research cultures around the world are going wrong. The survey data, the stuff you hear on Twitter, in a coffee room, if you can get to a coffee room in person, it's the same everywhere. People are working too hard. This is an increasingly cutthroat world that we live in. Competition is rife. We're competing for our stakeholders now, as well as for our funding and to get our papers in the top journals. And it just feels like there is no room to breathe, to be creative, to be compassionate. To take the time that our colleagues need, that our stakeholders need, that our research process needs to do the very best work of our careers. We're just running constantly from one thing to the next. And so my hope is that this book is going to give something to you on an individual level. As you read the stories, connect with the ideas and start to give yourself permission to change the way that you work in deep ways and in practical ways. But of course, it's not just about what we can do. And although this is very much a bottom-up process, this is also about changing the systems that we live in. And my hope, in part, the reason that I did the audio version of this, my hope is that there will be university managers, senior managers, leaders reading this who also resonate with the challenges that I'm trying to address and say, yeah, you know what, this has to change and I want to be part of that as well. But instead of trying to lead from the front and from the top down, they then start to enable, empower, facilitate their colleagues to create the kinds of cultures that they can genuinely belong in. At the same time, this is probably the book that I feel most nervous about. I've never quite felt this level of personal challenge launching a book, and it is probably because I have told more of my own personal story than ever before. If you've read my last two books, the Research Impact Handbook and The Productive Researcher, you'll know that I've shared some of my own personal story in those books, and I've gone further than ever before in this book, hopefully without oversharing. But my idea with this is that partly I want you to connect with me as the author, and in so doing connect more deeply with your own experience as you have travelled through this academic system. Because, yeah, it's about the system and the challenges that we face in our work day to day, but we have our own positionality within those systems, which is dictated by our own personal experiences, and therefore how we read and experience and react to the things that are around us. And my hope is that by doing this, that I encourage you to look more deeply than ever before at your journey, so that you can find and bring an authenticity to your work that enables you to find a purpose that you can connect deeply with, connect through others with, and then find communities of people that actually share the same values, same purpose, and can work with each other to find that place of compassion and belonging where we can help each other to do the best work of our lives. Along with my own story, I've tried to tell a few other stories throughout the book. I figure, like me, you probably have to read for a living, and a lot of the stuff you have to read is a bit dry and boring. So when am I going to find time to actually, read stuff about impact and culture and this kind of professional development stuff? When I'm off work, I want to be doing, reading fiction or things that are going to inspire and enlighten me in other ways. And so I've written this book to be a book that I would want to read on Audible, which is where I read most of my books, or in front of a fire with a nice cup of coffee, that I would just get immersed in. And of course, we all love stories. And so I've told lots of stories from my own experience, stories I've heard through the trainings that I've done and the people that I've worked with and mentored. And of course, I've anonymised the more embarrassing of those stories. I am slightly paranoid that some of the more embarrassing stories, people will work out that it's them. So I have, in some cases, even anonymised all the way through to the gender of the person. There was one poor gentleman whose name I've entirely forgotten, and so I have this paranoid thought that what if I chose a random name and it just happened to actually be his real name? But fingers crossed, I don't upset anyone. And in so doing, I actually managed to entertain you, keep you engaged, but also enable you to reflect on the lessons and apply them in your own context much more effectively. I guess the final reflection I'm going to add on the book is that, as with my last two books, I published my first book through Routledge and discovered all of the constraints and straitjackets that you get put in when you are publishing through a major publishing house. So this is my third self-published book, and that means that I have complete control over what I put on the cover, how I make the cover. Much to my regret, recently the Productive Researcher has this beautiful Hessian bound cover, and we import the covers from France, and then they're hand bound by a traditional bookmaker in Yorkshire, and then Brexit happened. So if you've noticed a leap in the price of that book, then that's the reason. But anyway, trying to learn from that mistake, this one is a paperback, but I've tried to bring to it that same sense of loving care around a book that you're going to really prize and love the feel of and the look of, and just enjoy diving into every time that you come to it. So kudos in particular to my designer, Anna Sutherland, and to my photographer, Joyce Reed, who was also my wife, as you probably know by now. And I'm just looking through this. We've got all of these beautiful photographs, which of course are linked to the metaphors that I'm using as the vehicle for my argument in each part of the book. And then hand-drawn little drawings that run through in the corners of the pages. And I think when you look at these kind of things in books, you figure, it's just someone's put a picture into some bit of software. And actually, no, Anna has painstakingly hand-drawn all of these beautiful little pictures all the way through this. We've got notes pages and stuff as well. So my hope is that I'm communicating the lesson. This is yours to scribble on and make your own and do with, not just to read. So I think I'm going to give you the blurb for this. So this is also on the Eventbrite page, and you'll hear much more about this in a moment when I explain how the launch team is going to work. So you can find the link to the Eventbrite page where you can get that pre-launch copy as part of the launch team. So you can head there if you want just now. I'm just going to read through what I've written there, which is kind of partly the stuff that's on the back of the book, other bits and bobs of marketing material that I've pulled together, but a wee summary. And it starts off with 5 questions. And my hope is that you're going to answer yes to at least one of these questions. And if you do, then in theory, this book is for you. So do you feel demoralised and demotivated by an increasingly managerial, metricised academy? Does it seem like you have to be all things to all people, now also generating impact on top of everything else, and at the same time maintain a work-life balance? As a result, does it feel like there is no room for you to be yourself and authentically pursue your best work? Are you responsible for managing impact but want to do things differently? Do you want to create an impact culture that inspires and draws people to doing research in ways that will give them time to be curious, creative, and challenged, and if all goes according to plan, also to make the world a better place? In this book, you will discover how you can transform your working environment and create a culture you can belong in. Whether you seek ideas that will change the world, or you just want to reclaim a place in which you can think deeply, this book invites you to overcome what is preventing you doing the best work of your career. You will be able to experiment with practical ideas and creative ways of thinking to re-motivate and inspire you. You will build on what works and adapt what doesn't, creating your own culture with your closest colleagues. At the very best, you will see how it is possible to create a protective bubble in a toxic culture. But at best, unexpected new ways of working will emerge and spread from person to person and group to group. This is the way innovations spread, minds change, and new cultures are born. Diverse, authentic, and values-driven cultures that inspire the creative thought the world needs so badly right now. All of this can happen within the structures of your existing institutional home, no matter how supportive or toxic your current culture might feel. If enough of us start working differently, we can dismantle some of the structural barriers that prevent change in the metricised academy. You don't need to wait for that to happen. Whatever your position, from PhD student to professor, you can make a difference. Change can start now. With you, with us. So you can download a sample of part 1 of the book before you commit to joining the launch team and asking yourself whether or not you want to get that pre-launch version of the book. So that's about 50% of the book itself, so a big chunk. You can download that as a PDF and have a look through that and read, see what you think. And the launch team. So how does this work? So head over to the Eventbrite page if you want to read what I am telling you about and get a bit more of a sense of this rather than just listening to this. So the key thing is that you are getting an opportunity to buy a ticket to my launch event. And that launch event is going to operate as a reading group. So we actually have the first reading group of the year coming up, and this is based on Jonathan Grant's new book, The New Power University, and then this is actually now going to be the second of the reading groups that we will do, and there's a whole series more coming up, and I'm going to explain how you can get hold of all of those opportunities in a moment as well. So great. So it's a launch event, and it's a reading group, and crucially, that therefore means that you need to have read the book, and that's why I am making 100 copies of this available as pre-launch copies for you to buy and hopefully read in a month, or read as much as you can in a month. You also can get free access to the Audible version and the Kindle version. So you'll get all three versions with your ticket. The ticket is £29.99, which is the cover price of the book. And that includes free postage and packaging anywhere in the world. And so when this goes on sale on the 25th of March, we will have to charge postage and packaging. But I want to make this as easy as possible for anyone who wants to join the launch team. Now, the things that you get are the exclusive signed copy. So this is the only way that you can get a signed copy. You get it early before the rest of the world. You get the free postage and packaging, and you get the exclusive place at that launch event. Now, it will be open to others because I will broadcast this on YouTube. But if you want to actually be at the launch event and be able to discuss the book with me and with others, then there are just 100 places available for that, and so this is the way to get it. And of course, the free audio PDF and Kindle versions of the book as well. However, there are responsibilities. This is an application to become a member of the launch team. So in fact, it's not an application, it's a ticket. You are buying a ticket to be a member of my launch team, and I need you to do 3 things for me. So please think very carefully about this. Are you up for this? And if not, I want you to be honest and say, okay, I wait, I pay my postage and packaging, I buy the book with the rest of the world on the 25th of March. I do not want a whole lot of people exploiting this offer and buying the pre-launch copy and then not turning up to the launch event. So I need you to be at the launch event, having read as much of the book as possible. So that launch event is at 9 o'clock UK time on the 25th of March on launch day. So mark your diary, check you are available, block that time out before buying your ticket, please. The second thing is optional, but I would love, if you can, to write a short review of the book on Amazon. This is whether you love it or hate it. I want people to be able to get a sense of what this book is actually like. It's all very well having my blurb on the back of the book. That's what I think the book is about and what I think of it. But I want to hear what you think of this. And that then means that when we go live on launch day, then people can actually see what you think of it and make their own mind up about whether to buy that based on your reviews. And now, of course, that applies to the Audible book and to the Kindle book, which are both on Amazon. The book, the hard copy itself, will only be available through my own website, the fasttrackimpact.com website. But still, having those reviews there will be a really visible way for people to see what people think of the book. And then finally, the third responsibility, if you're a member of the launch team, is to help promote the book to your colleagues or networks. And again, very much optional. If you hate this book, you think this is a complete disaster, why on earth did Mark write this? Then no pressure to spread that news. Of course, if you want, you can warn other people off it. But if you like the book, then whatever channels you have, I'd love it if you can promote this to others. So if you don't feel comfortable with or think that that's not possible for any reason at all, you can't meet those responsibilities, then you'll see them on the site before you book your ticket. Please be responsible and don't hog a ticket. And just so you can get your copy of the book, you can wait a month. So the launch team, let me know if you've got any questions about this. This is going out. In fact, you've probably already had this via email, but hopefully you're not too late and there still are tickets left. I'm expecting this to go fairly quickly, so it's worth acting on this sooner rather than later. Finally, I want to just point you to the new book website. So before I finish, I'm just going to run through what you can see here. I'll put the link to this in the show notes as well. So this has also launched today. It's just fasttrackimpact.com/impact culture, one word. And this is not your standard book website, which just says, here's the book and here is the supplementary material kind of thing. The idea here is that I'm trying to create a community of practice of other people who want to achieve more healthy impact cultures. And so, yeah, it's linked to the book. But in this, you will find pretty much 90% of the book open access. Not in book form, but kind of divided up across all the different aspects of the website. So you can dive in depth to all of the key ideas without having to buy the book. In this, you'll see 9 ways to learn more and get involved in this new impact culture community. And number 1 is a series of free training and discussion groups. So I've just clicked through to this and you can see the first of these is coming up very soon. And this is on monitoring and evaluating impact. I ran a survey and asked everyone what were the key things that you wanted to learn about. And this was number 1. So this has been going well. I've been promoting it already. We've got over 300 people booked already. There are still spaces left on this. So if you're interested, then have a look on the website. I just mentioned Jonathan Grant. The book, the reading group that's coming next. But we've also got a series of discussion events as well. So opportunities to come and bring your own practical tips, challenges, and discuss with others. So have a look, loads and loads of things, basically once or twice per month for the whole of the year. And these are things which are not just by me. These are by the community for the community. So many of the people who suggested ideas, I've come back to them to say, so what do you say about co-training with me or perhaps leading this yourself? Number 2 on this list is an email discussion group. So I have just launched this today as well. So sign up for this and for all cool new impact culture things that come out. Whether that's by me or by other people or just difficult questions that you want to discuss. It would be great if we can actually get some email discussion going on between a few of us. You've got my newsletter, which is more the kind of the one-way thing where as I'm building new material, resources, etc., then I will signpost you to all of that, but also all the latest news and evidence from across the sector on impact culture and all other things impact. There's the podcast, which you're already listening to, my impact culture blog. I'm doing a series on impact leadership at the moment, so have a look at that. We've got a whole load of editable impact templates. So all the stuff that is mentioned in the book, you can get that there as well. And of course, a link to my impact culture training. Of course, it's one thing to do some training on how our research group or our department could build a better culture. If you are thinking about this now from a kind of a faculty or university kind of scale, I want to do a change management process, but following the approach, this kind of bottom-up approach that I'm suggesting in the book, then you can hire the co-author of the journal or the journal version of this article, Professor Johan Fazy, who's working with me to do the change management stuff as well. And I do have a plan for an impact mentoring scheme. It's going to be a peer-to-peer mentoring scheme that will be coming soon. So those are my 9 ways you can all get involved. Also, I've got a whole load of material from the book where you can dive into all of that for free, including my impact culture toolkit. So all of the practical ideas that you'll see dotted through the book, all collected in one place. It's a really rich source of cool ideas that I've heard about, that I've researched, that I think could really help make a difference. So my plea to you is get involved. Whether or not you're going to join my launch team, head over to fasttrackimpact.com/impact culture. Dive in, read, digest, hopefully be inspired, and get involved. Join in the email discussion group, sign up for some of the free training. And I look forward to seeing you either on the 25th of March at the reading group where we'll be launching the book, or at one of the free training and discussion groups, or via email. Please do get involved, and I look forward to working with you all.